You really need to hear what this park ranger found, because the National Park Service has never issued a public statement about what happened that June. In June of 2017, deep within Cumberland Gap National Historical Park, one of the oldest mountain passes in the Appalachian Mountains, a 25-year-old overnight ranger named Corbin Vess was assigned to the Access Road RV loop for a routine 3-night rotation. Everything seemed normal until his 1:11 a.m. disturbance call. What he found standing motionless between two RVs defied all logic. A figure in full white-face mime costume. No vehicle, no gear, no possible explanation for how it arrived at a gated access road campground in the middle of the night. By the end of that third night, both incident reports had been pulled from the district database. The campground closed quietly under a maintenance review. His partner filed for reassignment 6 days later and never spoke publicly about what he saw. Only Corbin made it out with a coherent account. What you are about to hear is that account. His name is Corbin Vess, and this happened to him in the summer of 2017. Corbin backs his patrol truck into the Site 8 pullout at 11:47 p.m. and cuts the engine. 41st night rotation on this contract. He knows this loop the way a man knows his own apartment after a year of insomnia. Every creak, every cold draft, every place the floor is wrong underfoot. He is 25. Criminal justice student at Radford University. 2 semesters from finishing when he switched to the forestry track. The analytical instinct didn't leave with the major. It just found new material. He documents before he does anything else. His field training officer called it a paper trail compulsion. Corbin called it common sense. Tonight's log, bear box complaint, Site 7 resolved. Noise complaint, Site 11 resolved. Maintenance note on the access gate hinge, grinding since May, logged 3 times, still not fixed. He is eating cold gas station sushi, wedged between his radio and his citation pad. Spicy tuna, single soy sauce packet. His partner Denny has told him 6 times it will eventually kill him. Corbin eats it anyway. Cumberland Gap is quiet, not comfortable quiet. The pressurized quiet of a place that has been here longer than anything else and knows it. A natural notch in the Cumberland Mountains at the junction of Virginia, Kentucky, and Tennessee. 300,000 settlers passed through this corridor. Not all of them made it out. The east tree line absorbs sound in a way the west end never does. Generator hum, a dog, an RV settling. All of it bounces back from the west. The east swallows it. He has logged this in exactly none of his incident reports, because there is no box on the form for tree line behaves incorrectly. The generator at Site 9 hums a flat G. Constant. The one stable thing on this loop after midnight. One goal, clean checks at 12:30, 2:30, 4:30. Off property by 7 a.m. LSAT in September. In 41 shifts, nothing has been on this loop after midnight except raccoons and that hum. At 1:09, his radio crackles. Disturbance, Site 6. A woman's voice, not panicked, which is almost worse. There's a man standing in the road between my RV and my neighbor's. He hasn't moved. I've been watching him for 11 minutes. I almost didn't call because I thought he was a scarecrow. Corbin puts down the sushi, notes the time, 1:09 a.m. He will remember that number for a long time. And what I haven't said yet is that someone else already wrote it down 2 nights before he ever arrived. Corbin reaches the Site 6 corridor at 1:11 a.m., and his headlights find the figure exactly where the woman described. Centered in the lane between a white Class A motorhome and a tan pop-up camper, not leaning against either vehicle, not looking at them. Just standing the way a post stands. with the specific vertical stillness that human bodies don't naturally hold for long without effort. Full white-face mime costume, white unitard, white gloves, theatrical grease paint, face painted in the classic style, exaggerated brow arches, dark lip crease, teardrop under the left eye. Before he opens his door, Corbin runs his headlights across the full loop perimeter. Documentation instinct firing before the adrenaline does. No unknown vehicles. He checked this loop at 11 p.m. Every vehicle is in his log, make and plate. Nothing new. The access gate is 1.4 miles down the road, and he has the only key. No trail entrance within half a mile of the east end. No road, no path. No explanation for how a person in a theatrical costume arrived at a gated campground at 1:11 in the morning without a vehicle, without a bag, without leaving anything on the access road his headlights would have caught. He gets out. The smell reaches him before he is fully upright. Grease paint first, the sweet chemical bite of stage makeup. But underneath that, something wrong. Wet soil. Turned earth. The specific smell of a space that doesn't breathe. A sealed room. A place where air has been sitting in the dark a long time. Standard verbal warning. Identification request. The figure doesn't respond. Then slowly, with the deliberate control that takes years of physical training to develop, it begins to mime riding a bicycle. Invisible handlebars, the pedaling, the slight forward lean of a casual rider, technically proficient. The kind of performance that earns applause at a street festival. But it faces Corbin the entire time. And it pedals backward, retreating down the access road without ever turning to look where it's going. Eyes on his face. The tree line takes it at the 50-foot edge of his headlights, and the dark closes behind it like water. No footsteps, not on the gravel, not on the grass shoulder, not at the tree line edge. The flat G hums from Site 9. Corbin writes it up. Unknown individual, theatrical costume, no registered vehicle, exited via east tree line. Disturbance time, 1:11 a.m. The next morning he finds a notation in the prior week's incident log. Day shift shorthand, 3 lines. Disturbance, Site 6 corridor, 1:11 a.m., June 11th. White costume, no vehicle, exited east. June 11th. 2 nights before his first rotation, 2 nights before Corbin Vess ever set foot on this loop. He reads it twice, lays both reports on the dash, and stares at them. Same time, same road, same direction. Not 1:10, not 1:12. To the minute, on a night he was not here. Second night, June 14th. Corbin parks dark at the Site 8 pullout at 12:50, engine off, lights off, truck rolled forward off the gravel so there is no crunch. If it comes back, he wants to see it before it sees him. At 1:10, the figure steps out of the east tree line. Same spot, same costume, same post-stillness. At exactly 1:11, it begins to mime driving a car, both hands on an invisible steering wheel, checking an invisible mirror. Unhurried, precise. Oriented directly toward the dark pullout, where Corbin is sitting with his lights off. It should not know he is there. By any physical logic he can construct, it should not know he is there. It checks the mirror again, looks directly at him across 60 yards of dark. Then it signals a left turn. One deliberate hand gesture, the mime equivalent of a blinker, toward the only point on the loop where a left leads straight to Site 6. Corbin writes that down in his citation pad and stares at it for a long time. The figure was miming driving. Toward him, signaling the turn. Whatever it was performing out there, it was not performing for the campground. It was performing for Corbin. He just did not know yet how long it had been rehearsing. third night, June 15th, Corbin requested a perimeter check on the east tree line from day shift maintenance. They walked it that afternoon and found nothing. No tracks, no camp, no evidence of habitation anywhere along the tree line edge. He filed both incident reports. He asked Denny to cover the overnight, and Denny declined. His daughter's recital ran late, and he had to drive her home to Middlesboro. Corbin is alone. He parks at the Site 11 overflow area at 12:45, patrol light running on slow, automatic rotate. This time he has a plan. If the figure appears, he closes the distance. Verbal contact, face to face. He is a park ranger, not a detective. But the criminal justice instinct has been building a case for 3 nights, and it is done watching from 60 yards. At 1:10, the figure steps out of the east tree line. Same spot, same costume, same post stillness. Corbin gets out of the truck. He closes the gap deliberately, not rushing, hands visible, the approach posture from his ranger training. At 15 feet, he stops. Firm verbal warning, Park Service identification, request to see theirs. The mime turns to face him fully. Then, slowly, with that theatrical precision, it begins the apologetic pantomime. Both white-gloved hands pressed together at its chest. A deep, sustained bow. The exaggerated sorry expression. The full performance. The mime equivalent of "my mistake, officer. It won't happen again." The performance is so specifically calibrated, so perfectly timed, so exactly the response a person would produce to de-escalate a park ranger, that Corbin almost says something back. Almost. Movement in his peripheral. 30 yards back at the tree line edge, a second white figure stepping out of the dark. That wrong gait, every joint moving correctly but the physics slightly off. The way something moves when it has learned movement from watching rather than doing. Then a third, 10 yards left of the second, emerging from a completely different break in the trees. None of them orient toward the RVs. None of them look at the road. All 3 face Corbin Vess. He backs up, measured steps. 30 feet to his truck, and the math is still manageable. The 2 figures from the tree line are 30 yards out, moving at that slow drift, and 30 feet is nothing. 10 steps. He counts them out loud under his breath. At step 8, his hand finds the door handle. Cold. Not the ambient cool of metal on a mild June night in Tennessee. The deep cold of something that has been somewhere much colder for a long time. He registers that and pulls the handle. Locked. He locks it every shift. Automatic motion. Key out of ignition. Door locked before the key leaves his hand. Every shift, every time, without exception. He locks it. The mime is in the driver's seat. Sitting upright, white gloves folded in its lap, looking straight ahead through the windshield. Then it turns, slowly, that same deliberate control, and looks at Corbin through the glass. One white-gloved hand rises. A wave, slow, delighted. The specific wave of someone who has been waiting a long time and is very pleased you finally arrived. Corbin stumbles back from the door. 1 step 2. His back meets something. White-gloved hands close on his shoulders from behind. The third figure, which had been 30 yards out at step 8 of 10. He heard nothing. No footsteps on the gravel. No displacement of air. Nothing between the locked door and the hands on his shoulders except the flat G from Site 9 and the sound of his own breathing. He does not know how it closed 30 yards in the time it took him to take 2 steps. The gravel bites through his uniform pants as he wrenches sideways, and the cold from the door handle is still sitting in the bones of his right hand, and the smell is everywhere now. Grease paint and turned earth, and the deep underground cold of a place that has never seen light. And above all of it, steady and indifferent, the generator at Site 9 hums its flat G like nothing in the world is wrong. He runs. There is no decision architecture. The criminal justice training, the LSAT prep books, 41 shifts of documentation instinct, all of it compresses into a single output. The maintenance cabin is 200 yards up the access road, and it has a deadbolt and a wall-mounted radio and 4 solid walls. He runs. Gravel under his boots. The patrol truck receding behind him. The loop lights throwing long shadows across the road ahead. He does not look back, not because the training says don't look back, but because some part of him has already decided that whatever is behind him, the information is not going to help. The generator at Site 9 goes silent, mid-hum, mid-rotation of the patrol light. The flat G just stops, and the silence that replaces it is not the absence of sound. It is the presence of something that has been waiting behind the sound all along. The same pressurized quiet as the east tree line, the same swallowing dark, but bigger now, spread across the entire loop like something exhaled it. Behind him, not gaining, not falling back, just there, the specific awareness of something maintaining exact distance, not footsteps, not pursuit. The way a shadow maintains distance, the way something keeps pace when it already knows where you are going. The cabin door. He hits it shoulder first, fumbles the handle, gets it open. Inside. Deadbolt thrown. The bolt seats in the frame with a sound like a period at the end of a sentence, and he stands with his back against the door and takes one full breath. 1. Then he moves. Wall radio. He keys dispatch and starts talking before the line confirms active. 3 nights, 3 figures, Site 6 corridor, 1:11 a.m., RV loop, send backup. Denny's number is in the district directory. His voice is level. The criminal justice instinct doing the only thing it has left. Document. Establish the record. Make sure someone outside this gap knows what happened here tonight before anything else does. The deadbolt is solid. The cabin is lit by the single overhead fluorescent. The one flickering since April, maintenance logged twice, still not fixed. It flickers once. Holds. One long breath. The bolt is solid. The door is solid. He is inside and they are outside, and that is a wall between him and whatever was keeping pace in the dark behind him. The wet soil smell reaches him. Faint at first, then not faint. Rising from inside the cabin, the way cold rises from a basement. Slowly, then all at once. Corbin turns from the radio. The 4th figure is in the far corner. It has been there the whole time. Standing where the overhead fluorescent throws its weakest light, still enough to see by, dark enough that he walked straight past it when he came through the door. Full costume. White face, white gloves, grease paint, the dark lip crease, the teardrop under the left eye. It takes one slow step toward him. The floorboards don't register its weight. Then another step. Same. The fluorescent flickers. In the half-second of bad light, Corbin sees the grease paint clearly for the first time at close range. The teardrop under the left eye. The dark crease above the lip smeared slightly. The way grease paint smears when a face has been pressed against something for a long time. Against glass, maybe. Against the inside of a locked truck window. The figure in the corner is the one that was in the driver's seat, which means the hands on his shoulders in the parking lot were the 3rd figure. Which means what he counted as 3 was 4. Which means the 2 that stepped from the tree line behind the original. That was never the full count. He starts the math and his brain won't finish it. Won't go where the number leads. Keeps sliding off the edge of it the way a hand loses grip on wet rock. The figure takes a 3rd step. The fluorescent flickers again, and in the stuttering light the grease paint teardrop gleams and the white gloves rise, both of them slowly, with that same deliberate theatrical control, and pressed together at its chest. The apologetic bow. My mistake, officer. It won't happen again. But it doesn't stop walking. Corbin's vision tunnels white at the edges. His knees buckle. The gravel floor comes up fast and cold, and the last thing he registers before the dark takes him is the flat G, the generator at Site 9 starting back up, mid-note, exactly where it left off, humming its single indifferent tone into the gap's particular silence. As if nothing happened. As if nothing is still happening. As if it has been doing this in the dark behind every sound for a very long time. Denny arrives in 11 minutes and 40 seconds. His daughter's recital ran short. He heard Corbin's transmission on the district radio from his driveway in Middlesboro and drove in without being dispatched, without calling ahead. He finds the cabin deadbolted from the inside and has to radio Corbin's personal cell to get him to open it, because Corbin is conscious by then, sitting on the gravel floor with his back against the door, citation pad open in his lap, writing it all down. The instinct doing the only thing left. They sweep the loop together. Empty. No figures at the tree line. Not on the road. Not at Site 6. The gap breathes its pressurized quiet and gives nothing back. The passenger seat of Corbin's patrol truck is cold to the touch. Not the ambient cool of a vehicle that's been sitting. The same wrong cold as the door handle. Denny puts his hand flat on the vinyl and holds it there. He doesn't say anything. He takes his hand away. Both incident reports are gone from the district database the next morning. Not archived, not corrupted, deleted, with no deletion entry in the system log. The June 11th notation is also gone. Corbin has physical copies. He puts them in a Ziploc bag and keeps it in the glove box of his personal vehicle from that point forward. The campground closes 9 days later under a maintenance review. No public statement, no incident summary to the ranger staff. Denny files for reassignment on June 21st. He and Corbin speak once more, a single text, the day the transfer is approved. You didn't imagine it. Corbin has never responded. He doesn't know what to say back. 6 weeks later, an unsigned envelope arrives at the ranger station addressed to Corbin Vess. No return address. Inside is a single printout, a visitor photograph taken at the Pinnacle Overlook at dusk on June 11th. A family from Kettering, Ohio, posed against the mountain view. The kind of image that ends up framed on a mantel. In the background, at the tree line edge below the overlook, a white figure, standing still, and directly behind it, in the space between two trees, where the setting sun caught something reflective, something taller, watching from the dark. The family is smiling at the camera. They didn't notice what was standing at the edge of the frame. June 11th, 2 nights before his first rotation. Already there, already watching, already in position. Whatever they had prepared, they prepared it for Corbin before he ever showed up for his first shift. Which means something told them he was coming. He mailed the photograph to the NPS regional office with a full written summary. He received a form letter acknowledging receipt of visitor correspondence. No follow-up, no case number, no record of the certified envelope in the district mail log when he checked 3 weeks later. He still has the original printout. It lives in the Ziploc bag. Corbin Vess still works in the National Park Service, different park now, farther north, shorter nights. He still locks his door at the start of every shift. He still documents before he does anything else. He took the LSAT in September, the way he planned. He did well. He hasn't applied anywhere yet. The thing about Cumberland Gap, about these Appalachian Mountains, is that the wilderness doesn't wait for you to wander into it. Some nights it learns your schedule and the note your generator hums, and the exact spot you park when you want to watch without being seen. And then it waits. It is very patient. It has been here a long time.